Somebody who knows a lot about music, definitely, if anything, about how to get that money in it. A lot more that he does, though. He's a teacher, he's a motivator, an educator, a manager. I mean, such an inspiration. Cortez Bryant, he's the co-founder of BeGreat.tv, Maverick partner, the Blueprint Group Company CEO, and Young Money Entertainment COO, okay? And he is also an HBCU grad, Jackson State University to be specific, okay? And he is constantly focused on giving back to our youth, uplifting and building our next generation of leaders, especially within the entertainment industry. He also teaches a class at his alma mater as well and hosts the HBCU-centric show on Blackstream Live. Yes, right here, The Foundation. Cortez Bryant, welcome to As the World Spins.
Hey, thanks for having me. Hey, that was a great intro, man.
Oh my, I mean, Cortez, father, best friend, multi-millionaire manager, mogul. How could you not get an intro like that? Oh man, it's a privilege not only to be in your presence, but also to be able to share with all these beautiful people on this network that's full of our kind of people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where we can just be ourselves.
Yes, I appreciate it.
Of course.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Yes,
absolutely.
Well, buckle up, right? Because I keep it real and raw on the show. And let me tell you something, Cortez. I love me some music, and I've always loved music, okay? But there's nothing that I've ever seen in this lifetime like the Young Money movement. I just got to do one more time. Young Moolah, baby! Not for real. I've never seen a bigger movement, though, Cortez, in this industry than Young Money. It's a powerhouse. Lil Wayne, Drake, Nicki Minaj, Tyga, my man Spitta are just some of the many artists that have been signed to Young Money over the years. And now with your Blueprint Group, you've got in the Maverick, you got Lil Nas X, Trippie Redd, G-Eazy. So look, bro, I gotta start off like this, okay? First things first, you teach a class about career in music, right?
Yes, absolutely. I went back to, after 17 years in the business now, probably about 5 years ago, I was trying to figure out, ways to kind of, we were talking about equality in this country and all this and all the unrest. I was trying to figure out what I could do to do my part, to give back. And actually, when I first got in the music business with Wayne, one of the first things I saw when I kind of peeled the curtain back and looked at the people who was controlling our culture and the dollars, none of them looked like us, And after all these years, I realized that problem was still the same, at the top levels. And I think that was because of exposure. A lot of these kids in our neighborhoods, kind of like I grew up in, still think even to this day that, if you want to be in the music business, you have to be a rapper, singer, or producer, not understanding that there's tons of careers in and around the music business if you love music. So, my goal was to go back down there and build a bridge and long-term create a music degree program on campus. But the first class I wanted to start with was careers in music. And I thought it was so important to expose those kids to different things that they could do.
That is so dope. Such a blessing to learn it from one of the best of the best. And look, clearly it's even more lit doing business behind the scenes because I know you're doing pretty well. Can you send me that? Like, you got an exclusive link or something that non-college students can get in on the keys too?
Too funny. I don't know if I got it.
Look, Cortez, I'm going to give you another business idea. I think you need to do a masterclass for those who aren't even in college so we can all get the keys. You know what I mean?
Wait, that's happening. That's that. So that's what Be Great is, right? So Be Great is the name has changed now. It was Be Great. It just changed it just recently within the last month, probably June tickets called Assemble now, right?
Okay.
So that's an education tech platform. So it's the Black Masterclass. So basically that's what it is. So you're going to have people that's Black and brown that look like us, that these kids can learn, but anybody can learn from, Mm-hmm. So that's what that platform that I'm building is about. Me and my partner, Courtney Woodruff, and Jesse Williams, you may know him from Grey's Anatomy. He's a founder. So, we're taking different spins. So not only like the master class, you got all these celebrities saying how they got things done. It's a different spin on it. So we have those type of people. We have Tiffany Haddish, Dave Chappelle, Law Roach. We got a lot of dope people that's going to be launching when we launch this platform, but we also have, the successful woman with the hair salon, or the successful guy with the landscaping business. We're looking at all different walks of life just to give these kids exposure and to teach them, how they can do it. And we cutting it raw too. It's not no sugarcoating,
exactly.
Check the box, do what you got to do, work hard. No, we talk about failures, how did you fail, what it's going to take, because it's different from people of color to get into different businesses. So, I ask all the instructors that come on our platform, we're going to keep it real, and really see what it takes to get on. So that's what I'm building that too. So that's going to launch sometime.
I was about to say, your girl knows how to keep it real. So if you need another authentic voice, I got you for sure.
Yes.
And like you said, though, Cortez, this is such a blessing. I don't think people realize, and we'll talk about this in a second, growing up in different communities, how exposure and education really is the key for people to be able to succeed, okay? And especially our Black people who have been held back for so many decades. I mean, really, the biggest part about it is a lack of education and knowledge, and college definitely gives you that exposure. And you almost didn't go to Jackson State University, right?
Nah, I didn't. I don't like to tell that story though. Jesus. Was another school.
What made you decide to go there though, especially with it being an HBCU too as well?
Well, it's crazy. Last couple of years of high school, I did damn near every extracurricular activity at my school, 7th to 12th grade. So me and one of my good friends, we started a marching band in our school. Marching band culture down south, if you don't know, like drumline.
So if you haven't seen drumline, y'all, right?
Yeah, so marching band culture is like sport down south.
Right, it's like being in a frat.
Yeah, so our school at the time didn't have a marching band, so I started that and just fell in love with it and ended up getting a marching band scholarship to Jackson State University.
Wow.
And that was my way out of New Orleans, so that's how I started. It's crazy because now all these years later, I can see how kind of God ordered my steps and the principles I learned in that marching band and how I was able to apply it when I got into business and just having a love for music. I never desired to be in the music business, right? I just got into it because my best friend was talented and he needed a manager and just asked me to manage his career. So, but now that I see now I can look back at my life and see why God put certain things in my life. And that was one of the things. So that's how I got to Jackson State, through the marching band.
And you were hitting some of my follow-ups. First of all, shout out to NOLA, shout out to New Orleans. Before we get into it, I heard the food was good, bro, and I haven't been down there yet. So can you recommend a good food spot for when I go?
Are you serious?
Yes, I gotta come visit. I'm long overdue. And your girl likes to eat, so I need some good food spot recommendations.
Yes, so you haven't experienced life yet. You still got a piece of life missing. Like a piece of your heart is not even, your heart hasn't even developed yet.
Look, that's a fact.
For food, for real. You're like, you still got some development.
Nah, look, don't play your girl B. My dad's from Savannah, okay? I got a little bit of that in me, a little bit of that gumbo, shrimp, and grits,
so they got that Geechee culture, that Charleston to Savannah culture. It's not the same. Trust me. That gumbo is totally different from
That's a fact.
Gumbo,
That's a fact. Y'all be eating that crawfish. I don't know how y'all do that. But Cortez, for those who are on here, what's like the top restaurant that people have to go to when they go to NOLA?
Morrow's. My guy, Larry Morrow, Morrows.
Shout out to Larry.
His mom is the cook in the kitchen. She be in the kitchen every day. So when your mama in there cooking, you know you about to get something authentic, right? So his mama is still back there cooking. She don't need to be, but she makes sure she's in that restaurant putting all her recipes in there. So
look, put the foot, the neck, and everything in it.
You definitely gonna get some authenticity when you go there.
I love that. Yeah. Okay, Morrow's for sure. I'm gonna check that out. What was it like growing up in New Orleans? Just a little bit. How long did you live there? And tell me about the community down there.
I lived there all my life up to the moment I went to college, ventured off. So I mean, it was cool. While I was living it, like I say, I'm older now. I could go back, I could reflect on this and appreciate the things. It definitely taught you survival. But you didn't have a lot. My mom and me. My mom had me when she was 16, so we was kind of on our own. Kind of grew up together with her. So the life wasn't easy. you know, she was out the house at 16 and life wasn't easy for us.
Definitely.
But, you know, she taught me perseverance, survival. It was a lot of life skills that you learn. And then in New Orleans, just because I grew up in an era where violence was like in the 90s, you know, violence was at its peak.
Yeah.
You tend to learn how to survive, you know what I'm saying? You tend to learn how to survive and know survival skills, you know what I'm saying? So those are things that I can say that I could take from, you know, having to figure things out, being part of a single parent household, having to grow up and to see my mom do the things that she's done, the sacrifice she's made. And then, you know, having to avoid trouble and getting in, you know, taking the wrong curves and turns a lot of my good friends has, you know, in order to survive. And those skill sets, I tell a lot of people, you know, if you grew up, especially in my era of New Orleans, and you grew up in that city, I tell people, even if people haven't gotten out, you probably could survive anywhere in this world, you know. So survival skills is probably the biggest thing I took from my upbringing.
Look, that's so key. And also real and true friendships. I mean, everybody knows Lil Wayne is your best friend. And the fact that even, you know, his career, Young Money and all of that, I believe the success came from the fact that you guys had this tight foundation that was built on real love and friendships, you know. How long have y'all been friends, first of all?
Probably 25 years
now.
25, 26 years.
Wow.
We met when he was 11, I was 14. Now,
wow.
Yeah. So, yeah, that might have been like 93, 94. Might be, yeah. So it's been a minute. So,
like
yeah,
almost Sandbox Boys.
Yes.
And when you graduated, actually, you got a job at CNN, but you turned it down to be his manager. What led you to that decision?
God. That's what led me to this decision. Yeah, my senior year. Yes. You know, I was clearly I had set out a couple of semesters to kind of go on the road when 99 Cash Money, you know, when they got popping. I went on a couple of tours just to see what it was like. But I went back to school. I figured it wasn't, you know, I ain't never, you know, I was like, this is not for me. I don't want to be in the music business. But, you know, when he called me my senior year, you know, I was definitely torn at the time. I had to give him an answer off top right there. You know, I prayed on it, you know, and got my message I had to be out there to protect him. And that's what, you know, I followed the spirit, you know.
Yeah, that is real. I am definitely a believer. And we talk about that all the time on this show, you know, walk by faith, not by sight, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so I have a question, a follow-up. Say somebody has somebody very talented in their circle and they want to help them out. Basically, you know, like you did for Lil Wayne. What's the first step that you would give them? Like, are we still back in the day where we got to go up to the record label, knock on the door to play the tape? Do we got to make our friend a SoundCloud? How do we help them to start to build that brand and that career in the music industry?
The beauty about the industry now and when I first started is, you know, these any aspiring artist has a whole lot of outlets to use. Social media, YouTube, you got so many tools, TikTok, you know, everything that's falling under the umbrella, right? So I would tell them, you know, like YouTube is like a Bible now. Like none of this existed when I was coming in. The only way to even putting out music, even distribution. Like when I started, you had to go to a label to get your music in Target or Best Buy, wherever you found music. Right now, you got United Masters, TuneCore, DistroKid. You got all these places where you could literally just you could give the world your music with no red tape. Like anyone could do it. So I would tell anyone that's trying to help their aspiring artists is to make sure you study the tools, the marketing tools that you're giving first, right? You know, because there's a lot of them out there. Pay attention to good, you know, ways to use social media to build your brand, good practices. Do research, you know, you got the internet. So all that's at your fingertips. You got conversations like this. This wasn't normal. That could be out in the world where you can learn from people, you know. So the first thing I would tell them is use what's at your disposal. And they have a lot of tools at their disposal in order to help build a brand. But some people just don't go out there and want to do the research.
Right. You got to do the work, y'all. Listen. I mean, Cortez is over here dropping them gems right now. Hard work beats talent when talent does not work hard enough.
Absolutely. Goddamn movie. Yes.
Looking back, Cortez, and you had mentioned this a few times, as we wrap things up, is there anything that you would do differently in your career if you could go back?
No, I actually wouldn't, you know. I learned from all my failures, all the mistakes. I use them to build character, build knowledge, and help me become a better person. And, you know, I've always still going by purpose and faith. And even with that, you know, and I tell everybody, even with that, I could be determined. I could see where God has me going, you know, or know it in my spirit, but that does not absolve me from the hurdles that life come, the cracks in the road and all those things. So I just appreciate all these cracks and try to build from those and keep it going. So, you know, everything I'm thankful for all of it, the goods and the bads, and don't regret anything.
I love that. What's one of the best books you've read that's helped you in your career that you would advise to other people watching?
You know, it's crazy, right? And I've read a lot of good motivational books, especially
that's my
like
vibe.
Self-help books, like Laws of Power, all those type books, right?
Yep.
But I think that, you know, especially if anyone in here in music, because a lot of people always ask me this, I get this on my Instagrams and everything. Like, one of my partners that worked for me, he wrote a book called, and I'm saying this because I use this in my class teaching.
Right, he ain't just plugging, okay? But we still gonna plug.
I'm not just plugging, like, I'm plugging, but I'm just not like
authentically plugging.
Authentically, like, you know, Music Business 101, written by Brian Calhoun. That's like my part. Like anybody, when you're talking about, you ask that question, you know, how and what, right? You know, what to do when you're an artist in this business or you want to be a manager in this business. Like, he literally like broke down like A to Z in basic like
music business for dummies.
Yes, music business for dummies term.
We're aligned.
Right. So, you know, I like to, especially for people who may be tapping in just because of, you know, my road to success. You know, he's been an intricate part in the whole thing, because it's definitely a team. It's not only me that's built all these artists. I have a team. I just have probably the most social media following. So everybody look at me, but I have a team that I've been with for 15 years out of my 17 years in this business, who's helped everything that we've gained. So yeah, that's the book I would advise.
I like that.
Anyone,
Music Business 101. By who again? How do you say the name?
Wait, Music Business Toolbox. Did I say Music 101?
Music Business Toolbox.
Toolbox by Brian Calhoun. Yes.
I love that. I love that. Yeah. And look, I already know we could talk. I mean, the vibe is there for sure. But as I wrap things up, on the foundation, are you giving people the blueprint to how to be you? I mean, I went to PWI, but it looks like I should have been in an HBCU. Listen, what's the show about?
I'm not used to this. Like, what you're doing right now, I've been behind the scenes for years. So
right.
I'm nervous every show for one.
Well, you do great.
You know, I'm just, you know, I give thanks to my HBCU experience and everything that is done for me in my life. So to celebrate HBCUs, when my partner Sean asked me, you know, to jump on the show, it was a no-brainer, you know. So it was definitely out my comfort zone because I'm not the front of the camera person, but I'm definitely enjoying it. I'm learning a lot. See, I know my school, but it's amazing to learn about all the different things that these other schools have to offer. Yeah. And it's been dope. It's been educational even for me who graduated from the HBCU.
That is super dope. When's the next episode? At end of the month, right?
July 31st. Yes, 2 p.m. Eastern.
Yes.
On this
make
network
sure you
right here.
Check it out. Blackstream Live.
Blackstream
Cortez.
Live.
Oh my gosh, you are so dope. Your energy is infectious. Thank you so much. Real quick, bruh, can you please let us know when Certified Lover Boy gonna drop?
I wish I could tell you. I don't know. Maybe I do, but I can't tell you.
Drake, if you watching this, please come on. The people are waiting. Cortez, do what you got to do, okay?
Are you crazy?
Cortez, thank you so much for joining As the World Spins. We kept it light. I told you just buckle up a little bit. Get ready for some more rides. Come soon.
I had a great time. Appreciate you having me here.
Appreciate you joining. Stay blessed. Stay well. Hope your family and everybody's doing well. And make sure you guys check him out at Tezington on IG because that's where everybody at. You know what I mean?
Yes. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Cortez. Bye.
All right, bye. Peace.
Young Moolah, baby.